Yo, what's good, everybody? What is going down? What is good with it? We are super hyped to be joining y'all today because we are now stepping into Palworld 1.0. I have been looking forward to this for such a long time at this point. Dude, so we can get into all of the hype and all the things that Palworld is, but before we even get to that, hope everybody's evening is going really well. Hope everybody's doing phenomenally. Hope y'all's evening is shaping up to be one that is full of smoothness and calm, and good old Friday Junior, Friday Eve, as it were. We are going to be looking to read massive patch notes, massive change notes, I should say, for Palworld here, because it is just so big and so meaty that I think it's basically a brand new freaking game. So, with that being said, I'm gonna just switch it over to this right here, the Palworld 1.0 launch trailer, as well as we're looking here to read this super long change notes, change log officially. Right, we're reading this off of the Steam side here. You'll notice that even the characters are a bit different, right? You see Homegirl up here on top of the Grisbolt is a brand new character as well. And so I'm excited. I have not seen this trailer at all, so I'm super hyped to see it with y'all. So let's see what it is. Oh. I am super stoked and super hyped to get into this. Again, we've played it a whopping 459 hours up to this point. We took a bit of a hiatus. Got a couple worlds from the previous early access, but given these amount of changes, we're likely just going to start a brand new game essentially from scratch. We're not going to do it alone. We're going to be hanging out with the homie Fig Jam. We're going to be doing this because he and I are both extreme Pokemon fans. He is far more than I in that respect, but we both are massive fans. Grew up with the content, grew up with it all. And so when Palworld first launched, just the hype of just having a base builder survival game with essentially Pokemon with GATs, right? Like super, super fun, but it just became so much more. It's so much more in depth. So I am super, super excited to get into it with y'all. Super, super excited for it. So again, it is thick. When I tell you, like it is long. I mean, it's not even loading properly how long this thing is. So we're gonna start from the top. Looking at some of the biggest things here. Pal Tamers, the time has come. Today, Palworld exits early access. Palworld 1.0 is here. Sunreach, a mysterious new island floating in the sky. The World Tree, the heart of the Palworld story. Palpagos has grown and a new adventure awaits. Which again, yeah, we've played it. There was a loose sort of story, but not really. Like that wasn't necessarily what was being paid attention to in the early access. It was just a lot of fun, just have fun and just exercise a level of dominance over the ecosystem in all of the fun and cool little ways. But apparently, there's a new story or there's a revamped story, and so we're gonna see what's really good here. So, Palworld 1.0 adds 72 new pals to the world, bringing a total number of pals up to an incredible 287, which is awesome. Like again, it just yes, we are working with a thick level of pals, each with their own skill set. Just again, the level of depth in the game is just it feels like a labor of love for all the folks who grew up with Pokemon who just wanted to do a bit more than what they were given in Pokemon. So I'm just happy for all that. Palworld 1.0 also adds new ways to strengthen your pals through awakening and mutation, rebalance stats and abilities for all pals, and large-scale overhauls across many aspects of the game, including base building, my personal favorite, multiplayer, and graphics. The journey that began in early access reaches its climax, and from here, a new Palworld begins. So, new area and world improvements. We got the world of Sunreach here. It's looking kind of fresh. It's kind of nice. So floating set of islands there, which is really cool. We have some new gear, apparently. That looks like some new gear there. So, floating above Palpagos, a new set of islands has appeared in the skies. Kept aloft by the power of Paldium, this land holds an environment unlike the surface, with unique civilization that has taken root over long years. Sunreach introduces a wide range of new content, including new pals, tower bosses, and ores that can only be mined using specialized equipment. The way that the game obviously kind of built on itself, so that you have to get the gear, max it out, get to the next level, get that material, max that material out, get the next piece of equipment, etc., which is really cool. Explore every corner of Sunreach and challenge the towers hidden above the clouds. What awaits you at the edge of the sky may be the still unknown memories of this island. The World Tree, again, that's a giant ass pal with the giant collar of some sort. So why do the factions of Palpagos Islands keep fighting over the ownership of the towers? The mystery hidden on this island is finally revealed. The key to the story of Palworld is the World Tree, towering over Palpagos, and it is here that players will face their greatest challenge yet, which is going to be awesome. I've been trying to get to that tree forever. Revamped world. Again, here we go. Ancient ruins. Ancient ruins have been added across the world through exploration and mini games. You can earn valuable rewards such as schematics. Really good. Watchtowers. Watchtowers have been added in various locations. Accessing one reveals the surrounding map and lets it serve as a fast travel point, making exploration of uncharted areas easier. That is awesome. You literally had to fly over every inch of the map to discover the whole map, right? So Watchtowers is going to be really cool to kind of have, kind of like Assassin's Creed, has when you kind of get to a viewpoint. It just basically, uncovers the rest of that particular area and all the different like hidden things, collectibles, chests, icons, different, leading to different things, which is awesome and amazing. Sunlight, yo, appreciate the follow. Thank you so much, Sunlight 107. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Feel free to drop a comment. We're doing the Power World. If you're playing Power World, let me know what you think. If you've gotten into the game already, just really appreciate it. Awesome. That was nice. Thank you. Small islands, new small islands. A total of 7 new small islands have been added, with 3 distinct biomes: volcano, desert, and ruins. Kind of like similar to the original early access. Each island serves its own purpose and features pals you can only encounter there. Again, really kind of making it unique and making the world feel living and alive, which is awesome. Super, super hyped there in a lot of good ways. Alrighty, so new settlements. The new settlements here. New settlements here. Small settlements have been added at the Bamboo Groves, the Snowy Mountains, Sakurajima, and Sunreach. Each settlement features new NPCs as well as submissions. Kind of a new thing there. In addition, the enemy bases have been added at sea, further expanding the stage for exploration and combat, which is awesome. Having the ocean be also a battleground, making it a bit more active and living. A wildlife sanctuary overhaul. The wildlife sanctuaries. Yes. Wildlife sanctuaries, previously small islands, have been reworked as protected conservation areas established by an ancient civilization to preserve the natural environment. Each of the 3 sanctuaries has its own special environment with unique scenery, pals that can only be found there, rare materials, and powerful bosses, all await in these renewed sanctuaries. Inside, defense drones operate to eliminate intruders. That's brand new. Sneak onto the islands and avoid the searchlights or go in loud. The choice is up to you. We're probably going to try to go in guns blazing, because why the hell not? And then when we get absolutely torched, we'll probably have to do a little sneak off to the side, but we'll test it out. Here we go. Rebalanced PAL habitats. We've renewed the placement and spawn levels of PALs throughout the world. PAL spawns feel more natural for each region you explore, adding a new sense of fun and adventure in your search for PALs. For the random PAL spawn mode, to correctly reflect this rebalance, placement data from version 0.7.3 and earlier is no longer carried over, which is fine. Again, I think so much of what we were experiencing pre 1.0, yeah, I think there's just a degree and a level of letting that go. Again, just wanted to engage the game, I think, as the developers, have worked diligently on to basically just get this thing to where they wanted it to be for 1.0. So super down for that. Increased level cap from 65 to 80. New technologies have been added. Again, pretty standard there. Other adjustments and improvements, a ton. Again, this is just so much here. A quick skim here. Lift monk effigies are not power effigies. Basically enhanced powers. New animation when picking up a paw effigy. Rebalanced treasure chest, dungeon rewards and item drops. Adjusted and improved dungeon layout and lighting. Rewards will also be rebalanced. Towers have been cleared, now display a different color. That's a really good feature there. When a random dungeon is open, its entrance is now displayed more clearly. Man, there would be times where we'd just be scouring entrances and then, closed. Closed again. Up close again. So that's an awesome little feature there. Added 15 entrances to random dungeons throughout Fabric specifically. Layout of dungeons. Predator pals no longer appear at fixed locations at a low rate across the world map. Junk and salvage are not easier to find. Change the size of bounty targets to match that of regular NPCs instead of the giant towering individuals there, which is kind of funny now, but. Move the Free PAL Alliance Tower to Crescent Moon Shore. Adjusted the description text for initial respawn points to suit each environment. Rename Forgotten Island to Island of Chilling Winds and Windswept Hills Plateau of Beginnings. Cool. Removed the Great Eagle statue from the top of the tower bases, improving map visibility. Adjusted the appearance of sealed realms. Their look now changes according to the strength of the boss inside, and 2 new variations have been added. Okay, you can now earn exploration experience when clearing some dungeons and enemy bases. Adjusted the number and positions of enemy bases on land. Added fast travel points. Implemented an auto run function. Hey, with one press of a button, you can keep running automatically, making long distance travel more comfortable. Again, we're not trying to run everywhere. We're trying to breed enough pals to get these flying pals going, and then breed them into an absolute machine of flight and speed. We're likely, Fig Jam and I, going to be tackling Jet Dragon entirely too soon for our level, but as soon as we get the one Jet Dragon, we are never touching the floor again for travel. Change the appearance of the wild redberry plants to be easier to spot and place them additionally at the Sea Breeze Archipelago, Marshall Islands, Eastern Wild Island, and Island of Silence, which is fun. Mission and story. I'm a big story guy. I love lore. I love story. That's super big for me. And I really didn't get into the Palworld one because just wasn't quite the point for me when I was playing Palworld. But now, major rework of main missions and story flow, which again I think I'll be paying attention to now. The story of Palworld has been significantly reworked, exploring Papagos fighting tower bosses and the path leading to the World Tree now connect more naturally. Sunreach, the World Tree, a colossal legendary POW, that giant collared whale POW. The goals of adventure that were once scattered have been reorganized so you can progress through the game while pursuing the island's mysteries. New submissions, NPCs, and journals. Story-driven continuous submissions have been added. New NPCs and journals have also been added across the world, letting you learn about the world of Palworld through exploration, which is fun. Let's see other adjustments. Some missions cannot display multiple destination markers at once. The reward NPC mission screen now displays the correct rewards, which is a lot of fun. Excuse me. To maintain fairness following the reward adjustments, main mission and submission progress have been reset. That's fun. Note, for tutorial and tower boss related main missions, some missions will be automatically marked as completed based on your tower boss defeat progress. Pals. These are all brand new pals. They look hot. This middle one right here, I don't know who. She be looking dangerous. This dude be looking funny. This looks like somebody's mood. Like, that's super exciting. I'm super excited to get into some of this. 72 new pals added. Thoroughly excited to get into the pals of it all here. Let's see here if I'm able to. Yep. Okay. Yep. Just finished the download, so I'm excited for that. 47 new pals and 25 variant pals have been added. Meet still unknown pals by exploring Sunreach, the World Tree, and various other regions. I wonder if we're able to get to the World Tree maybe before everything's completed. It kind of feels like some endgame stuff, obviously, but maybe we're able to get there sooner than that. New mechanic, Awakening. We've added a new mechanic, Awakening, that lets you strengthen your pals even further. In newly opened mystical area, the World Tree, gather radiant gems hidden in its depths and use them on your favorite pals to awaken their hidden true power. Aim for even greater heights. Make your pals the strongest. Yes, that is going to be awesome. So it sounds, at least from here, that we're going to be able to get into the World Tree. Probably just kind of as an area. Obviously, probably super high level. We're going to have to, obviously get the material to then get more material, to then build more specialized equipment, to then get to the level, and then get the stuff that is able to farm the radiant gems. The power loop, essentially. New mechanic, Mutation. We've added Mutation, a new mechanic where breeding has a low chance of producing a POW stronger than the normal breeding result. POWs born from mutated eggs have higher stats and unique passive skill. Excuse me. We've also added new cakes with special effects. Yes. So, breeding was and is one of the funnest parts of the game. Just the variation and the capacity to just make new pals is dope and amazing. in that and around that, one of the things that I like to focus on in my base building is having each unique uh, base serve a particular functionality, right? There is I call it what the farm. All of my food, all of my baking and cooking, and all those pals, all that is in one. My mining, the gulag, I've named it. All mining pals, all ore refinement. Um, Obviously we have a main base. So each one has served its purpose, ultimately culminating um, in like the highest level base, uh, housing the highest tier equipment that we're able to have at the time. To just basically farm into that focal point, and to just use that as a launching bay essentially to the hardest level content. So we're gonna see what that looks like, starting the brand new game here. But again, adding new cakes with special effects. Mushroom cake slightly increases the likelihood that a newly born pal will have higher stats. Vegetable cake produces 2 pal eggs at once. Good God. Deluxe vegetable cake. Oh, geez. Increases the likelihood of mutations and makes stat growth more likely. Yep, I imagine again feeding, the condensed pals and things of that nature will just make the growth there happen. Special cake increases the chance of inheriting multiple passive skills from pal parents. That is going to be phenomenal, especially when we're thinking about passive skills. Um, you talk about some of the S tier skills that the game has introduced. That's just going to be very, very interesting. So I wonder what those costs are going to be. Obviously, mushroom's going to need mushroom, veggie's going to need some veggies, right? I wonder what special cake is going to need. So, major rework of partner skills. We've added new partner skills and reworked the partner skills for over 200 pals. Pal team compositions have never been more diverse, and now players can build pal teams to fit any situation. Example of skill additions: new detection type skill. Nox Kudiri. Old, while fighting together, changes the player's attack to dark. New, when activated, detects the local nearby pal effigies. Oh, okay, Nox. Okay, doing that. Pal partner skill, damage boosting. Xenolord, Meteor Wing. Old, can be ridden as a flying mount. It greatly increases movement speed while flying. New, can be ridden as a flying mount. I didn't expect them to get rid of that. While in party, damage done by partner skills of weapon-wielding pals increases by 20%. Does not stack. That is going to be super interesting. I'm not really invested in the weapon-wielding pals, but with Xenolord being what Xenolord is, 20% increase in pal. If you got a pal that is just DPS glass cannon monster, that could be super, super nice to have. Okay. Element resistance boosting skill. Kitsun, Wolf of the Sun. Old, can be ridden unaffected by cold or heat while riding his pal. That was fun. New, can be ridden while in party. Player and party pals take 15% less ice damage and are immune to frozen. Does not stack. Okay, cool. So really interesting for the frozen biome. Pal enhancing skill, Ozerk, Ferocious Thunder Dragon. While fighting together, water pals drop more items when defeated. New, while in party, hitting an enemy with a bullet increases the attack and defense of the pal fighting alongside you by 1% for 5 seconds. This effect stacks up to 30 times with itself. Does not stack with other similar skills. That is insane. That is crazy. Like for every bullet. So basically you want to take high velocity, high rate of fire weapons, and basically attack and defense increases for 30 times for 5 seconds. Oh my god, dude, that's going to be insane. Shield enhancing skill. Sylvagus, Aegis Shield. Old, can be ridden, increases the duration of the shield when Aegis charge when using Aegis charge while mounted. New, while in party, reduces shield generation delay by 30% and reduces damage taken by your shield by 65%. Does not stack. Yo, I'm glad I'm reading through all this because this it may be really useful to just read through all of it. I was gonna try to skim through some of this, but to be honest, like this just might end up being worth reading entirely because this is so much of the game that is kind of new and reworked in this way. I digress. Work suitability boosting skill. Cinemoth Mysterious Scales. Old when activated attacks the target enemy with Poison Fog. New when activated attacks the targeted enemy with Poison Fog. While at base, increases the farming work sustainability level for all other base pals by +1. Woo! Okay, Cinemoth, you are no longer just fodder for materials. Rabunny Happy Go Lucky Bunny. Old while in team increases attack of neutral pals, while at base increases work efficiency while working at weapon workbench, weapon assembly line, and other related facilities. New while in party increases attack of neutral pals by 15%. Does not stack. While at base increases the handiwork suitability level for all other base pals by +1. That's not. Oh, dude, we're gonna be having like level 4 and level 5 handiworks. Just, man, that is dope. Fall damage nullify skill. Oh. Accelerate Zephyr Glider. Old while in team modifies the performance of the equipped glider, increases speed while gliding for an extended time. New while in party modifies the performance of the equipped glider, prevents fall damage, and extends the duration of high speed gliding. Goodbye fall damage. Beyond these examples, many other effects have been added or refined. Oh, gee, okay. For almost all pals, we've adjusted things so that their partner skill effects do not stack when you put multiple pals of the same kind in your party. That kind of makes sense. That Ozark skill, the Ferocious Thunder Drag, that would have been absolutely cracked. Oh my god, that would have been insanity. Still super cracked, but that would have just broken the game if it did stack. Phenomenal. This widens team building options while preventing the balance from becoming too skewed. Partner skill descriptions have been improved so the specific effect values are easier to understand. Along with the effect changes, some partner skill names have been changed. Furthermore, combining these partner skills now creates more powerful synergies than ever. With the large number of changes to PAL skills, players can now tailor their team to fit any situation. Some examples include, build examples. Okay, cool. So we're actually going to be doing like actual like builds here, like real life build. That is phenomenal. That is actually so good. Build examples: bow and arrow build. Lumen, while in party, the player's arrow explodes on contact. Explosive head, explosive. Okay, Destiny term. Robin Quilterra, while in party, increases the player's bow charge speed. So I see. So basically, build crafting is going to entail not just the weapon that you have equipped, but it is going to be affected by the pals in your party. It's like 6 degrees of build crafting, which is just fucking awesome. So combining explosive arrows and faster charge speed allows you to maintain both sustained fire and high damage from long range. Status ailment build. All right, I butcher this here. Renjeshi. While in party, the player's attacks inflict burn. Okay. Yormintide Ignis. While in party, nullifies lava damage and increases the player's and pal's damage to enemies affected with burn. Flerical. That's a new one. While in party, attacking an ignited enemy causes additional explosion damage. Using burn as the start point, extend damage, and corner enemies with sustained firepower bonus damage. Woo! I'm so excited. I am so excited. I'm so happy to have read this instead of just jumping in and assuming that things are actually the same. They're completely different now. Element build here. Goopy Primo. While in party, increased defense of water pals. Kelpsy, while in party, increases attack of water pals. Okay. Pen King Lux, while in party, improves players and pals water damage to enemies' weak points. strengthen water pals in both offense and defense, and further boost burst power while hitting enemy weak points. That is going to be really, really good, especially if we're talking about any fire pals, any boss fire pals. That's just going to be phenomenal. Fishing build. Solmora, while in party, makes it easier to fish up talented pals. Gillette, while in party, increases items obtained from fishing. Goopy, while in party, the fishing minigame is less likely to fail. And Walaska, while in party, fishing minigames start with an increased capture gauge. Raise the fishing success rate and reward amounts, gathering lots of items more comfortably. Additionally, we've made numerous adjustments to make it easier to include a wider variety of pals in your team and allow them to play a more active role. Just hype. We're going to be making build videos for Palworld. Never thought I'd say those words together. Balance adjustment. The increased drop item amount effect. Previously only activated when fighting alongside the target pal. From now on, it activates just by having the pal in your party. This makes it easier to build teams for exploration and material gathering, which is awesome. To increase the chances of obtaining seeds, Valet now drops seeds while ranching. This makes preparing for farming and building your base easier. Yes, it does. To make early progression materials easier to gather through ranching, we've added ranch sustainability to some pals. Oh man, yeah, okay. We've added ranch suitability, to some pals and adjusted the materials obtained through ranching. Early base operation and material gathering are now smoother. For some pals, such as glider enhancing pals and pals that follow you on the player attacks. Crafting pal gear is no longer oh my god. Crafting pal gear is no longer required. You can use the partner skill the moment you catch the pal. Woo! That is freaking awesome. For partner skills that perform follow-up attacks, follow-up damage can no longer finish off the pal. This makes it easier to avoid accidentally defeating a pal you wanted to catch. Thank you very much. Adjustments to specific effects. The player healing effect of pals such as Patelia and Lylene has been changed from a fixed value heal to a percentage heal based on max health. It now remains a reliable healing method even in late game when the max player's health increases. Jet Dragon's aerial missile has had its power increased and cooldown shortened. Yo, they're really trying to say you're gonna have to play this game from just an entire, man, it's gonna be awesome. You can now unleash powerful attacks with better tempo, improving the exhilaration of combat. It's just literally going to be an absolute barrage all the time. Rush Ore's charge has been adjusted to stop on the spot when it collides with ore. Your position is now less likely to shift during mining, making it easier to handle. Okay. Lamball's fluffy shield now has a wider defense range, making it easier to block attacks. It becomes an even more dependable presence for sudden defense and positioning support. Mimog can now open all kinds of treasure chests, even when not condensed. It becomes a more dependable presence in exploration right after you recruit it. Many other adjustments have also been made. We're literally going to have to figure this all out as we play. New passive skills. Many passive skills granted to the pals have been added. Powerful passives with entirely new characteristics have been introduced, bringing new possibilities to raising and selective breeding. For example, light-footed increases jump count while riding this pal. Okay. Reload Master increases the player's reload speed. Ranch Master, ranch work suitability +2. We're looking for Ranch Master. A new category, World Tree passive skills, have also been added. These are incredibly powerful passive skills, but they come with a cost. Okay, for example, Twin-Edged Holy Blade as a passive skill. Attack +50%, in exchange defense decreases. We're going to have to really see what that percentage actually is. Dimensional Leap, movement speed plus 50%. In exchange, hunger depletes more easily. Okay. Demon's Hand, work speed plus 90%. In exchange, sanity value decreases more easily. Obviously, we have Shroomer Knocked to get in there and basically make sure that these pals don't lose their minds too quickly. Many new PAL motions, over 100 new motions in total, including swimming, sleeping beside you, idle motions, and more, have been added to existing PALs. Ain't that cute? Many unique animations have also been added to the 47 new PALs. PALs now have more distinct personalities and display a wider range of behaviors during adventures and life at the base. Okay, cool. Literally trying to be a documentary. Major improvements to riding controls. Awesome. We've improved shooting, dashing, weapon switching, and charge behavior while riding, and also adjusted the camera while riding. The sense of speed while moving is greatly improved, making riding controls more intuitive. We've also reviewed the behavior of riding pals when turning, etc., and making movements more natural. Visual immersion is improved, and riding now feels more dynamic. Additionally, you can now cancel a skill a pal activates while riding with a jump directional input. Pardon me. Making it easier to adjust position and dodge during combat. Okay. Adjusted pal and player behavior when mounting and dismounting to make it riding smoother. Improved the transition from dashing into charge skills while riding. Some pals now adjust their posture to match the terrain, resulting in more natural looking movement and animations. Again, we're looking for jet ragging. We're never touching the ground ever again. That is exactly what we're trying to be. If you are a fan of The Legend of Korra, which I am, and many of us are, I'm trying to be Zahir. I'm trying to be the Zahir of this Palworld. That is the goal. Yes. Enter the void. Enter the void. Shout out Guru Lahima. Where were we here? Added a dedicated motion for dashing while riding. Adjusted the player's firearm aiming motion while riding. Widened the range in which you can interact with items, facilities, and other objects while riding. This makes it easier to pick up items even while mounted on larger pals. That's a lot of fun. Work Suitability Overhaul. This looks like a lady version of Anubis, crossed and mixed with, looks like maybe a Grisbolt, or Pen King Lux or something like that. But here. So, work suitability levels have been expanded to 10 levels. Okay. And the work suitability values of all pals have been rebalanced. From the early game through the end game, you'll continue to find opportunities to strengthen your base by seeking out even better work pals. 10 levels. Okay. In addition, each time a pal ranks up, one of its work suitability levels will now increase. Oh! Okay. As before, reaching the maximum rank will increase all of the pals' work suitability levels. This significantly increases the value of investing in your favorite pals and makes training decisions for base management more meaningful. We've also adjusted things that applied technique items are easier to obtain. In addition, we've added Applied Ranching Handbook 1, an item that raises the work suitability level of ranching. Adjusted capture boost requirements. Reduce the number of captures required to complete a capture bonus from 12 to 5. Thank you. Now, you can now progress more smoothly to new regions and discover new pals at a faster pace, which is awesome. Adjusted condensation. Reduce the number of pals required to reach the maximum rank from 116 to 48. Jeez, I forgot it was that high to begin with. This reduces the burden of training and making it easier for a wide range of pals to excel in both combat and base operations. Other adjustments and improvements. When the player remains idle for a period of time, party pals will now also stop and face the player. They miss you. This creates a more natural scene of partnership between pals and their owners. Change the inheritance rules for active skills during breeding. Inherited active skills are now randomly selected from the 3 active skill slots on the parent pals. Greatly reduce the cost of resetting a pal's soul enhancements. Halved egg incubation time in newly created normal and hard difficulty worlds. Okay, that's actually good. Increase the elemental damage of bonus effects of divine heaven, flame emperor, sea emperor, thunder emperor, spirit king, ice emperor, earth emperor, king of the underworld, and divine dragon. Enhance the legend, rare, burly body, and diamond body passive skills. The nocturnal passive skill has been renamed Insomnia. Upon respawning, players can now select fast travel points other than their base at a starting location. Oh, that's awesome. Alt key inputs can now be assigned in the key configuration menu. Adjusted the item lineup of PAL merchants and black marketeers to better match each region they appear in. Overall pricing has been adjusted based on PAL stats. Base pals and party pals will no longer lose sanity when taking damage. Freaking awesome. Reduce negative effects caused by hunger, fractures, and others. Thank you. Literally, like it would just one fracture would just take out the entire pal's capacity to do anything at a base. Okay, so status elements have been reduced. Increase Jet Dragon's maximum stamina. I am telling you, they want you to get after Jet Dragon. They want you to go after it right now. Love Lander is now a dark type. Cool. Combat, okay, for Shaoli. Looks like a robot we're going to have to fight. Armor is sick. Brand new giant lance sword thing. That looks like a new like multi-missile launcher. And we have some pals here. Okay. Awesome. There's a thick change list here. Major rework of player motions. We worked overall player motions to improve responsiveness and control, improve the feel of core actions such as movement, combat, and other weapon handling. Change the dodge action performed while attacking or aiming to a dash. This makes it easier to close the distance while avoiding enemy attacks or adjusting your position while keeping your aim. No. When not attacking or aiming, the character will perform the traditional rolling action. Attacks can now be performed while dashing. Okay, cool. This allows player to transition into attacks while maintaining momentum, enabling faster-paced combat. Reloading will now continue without being interrupted during dodge attacks. Oh, okay, cool. Reloading can now continue while dodging, allowing players to move in their next attack more safely. Controls now remain responsive during rolling. This makes it easier to adjust your moving direction after dodging, allowing for more intuitive control over distance and positioning. PAL active skills rebalance the power and behavior cooldowns and usability of nearly all active skills, allowing a wider range of skills to be viable and effective. Holy Burst, which previously dealt excessive damage against large enemies, has now had its hit count capped. That's a nerf. Its power has been adjusted to 700, bringing its actual damage up close to previous levels. In addition, the power of top-tier active skills in other elements has been significantly increased to bring them in line with Holy Burst. Okay. Based on this new power structure, the overall power of other active skills has also been substantially increased. So I really like that, yes, they brought down Holy Burst from just being an incredibly just boss melter. Power's been kept to 700. Cool, phenomenal. Now, I like that all of the active skills have now been brought into parity in some way based on that 700 down, right? Instead of just being like, oh, we're just going to just nerf Holy Burst and keep everything else the same. They're scaling upwards, which is cool. That's actually really nice. Following a comprehensive damage rebalance, pals in a party can now deal damage equal or greater to that. See, there you go. That makes a lot more sense. Pals in a party can now deal damage equal to or greater than the player, which makes a lot more sense. They're freaking pals. Like, you can have a gun, but these things are monsters, right? These things are literal, creatures and such. So that makes a bit more sense. Additionally, the usability of certain active skills that were previously difficult to use, such as Dragon Meteor, has been improved. New active skills. Here we go. Many new active skills have been added. Not only new pals, but also many existing pals now have new unique active skills. For example, Furla added an attack that burrows underground and bursts out from beneath enemies. Starion added a charge attack. Bronze Cherry Aqua added a water element tackle attack, sending enemies flying. Many existing pals have new skills, allowing players to experiment with new party setups. The tower bosses. I don't know why this looks new. That looks sick as fuck. I don't know who this is, but I'm trying to get some of this in my party ASAP. Freaking Bastagon. Freaking man, Bastagon is gonna be so good. Yeah, this is gonna be cool. I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. Each tower boss now has a revamped tower with a unique visual design. Some tower bosses have also been given new motions and skills. New tower boss battles will require different tactics compared to previous encounters. To improve overall game pacing, the time limit has been reduced. The time limit has been reduced from 10 minutes to 5 minutes. And boss stats have been adjusted accordingly. I was about to say, sometimes we were out here just down to the freaking wire. But I'm glad they're adjusting that as well. Little asterisk here. The unlock requirement for hard mode tower bosses has been changed to defeating the boss in the Azure Covenant Tower. Got it. New attack commands for pals. By aiming at an enemy and pressing the mouse wheel or clicking the right stick, you can issue a command for your pal to attack that enemy. Cool. Right stick. Got it. Basically, I think it might just be R3. Wild pal combat improvements. Pals in the wild have had new behaviors added to improve their combat capabilities. New behaviors added include dog-type pals can now bite when attacking. Jesus. Horse-type pals can now perform repeated charge attacks. Makes sense. Fast-moving pals may step back or reposition themselves after attacking. Battles with wild pals now call for more flexible tactics. Arena Legend. The strongest pal tamers stand ready to face all challenges, overcome fierce battles, and claim glory with your own hands. A new arena rank awaits. To improve game pacing, arena match durations have been reduced from 5 minutes to 2 minutes, and enemy stats have been adjusted accordingly. Other adjustments. Okay, cool. Just thick level of adjustments here. Adjusted party pals so they more easily target enemies near the player. Okay, I'm just basically focusing on what's attacking you. Adjusted party pals to move quickly only during combat. Cool. Reworked armor durability reduction formulas, making armor less prone to breaking. Captured NPCs can now use their original weapons. I forgot you can capture other people. When afflicted with the burn or muddy status effect, performing a dodge roll will now shorten their duration. Cool. Bow drawing can now be canceled with the reload button. Added a feature allowing players to change the type of arrows used by compatible weapons, enabling the use of fire and poison arrows. As a result, dedicated fire and poison arrow weapons have been removed from the technology tree. Awesome. Even if you possess their schematics, they can no longer be crafted. Okay, cool. So basically, you automatically have fire and poison arrows available to you if you have a weapon that has the capability of using that ammo. Okay. Adjusted the hit detection of swords, katanas, and beam swords. Enhanced the charge time of some active skills to make them easier to dodge. Okay. Adjusted the hit count of certain skills. Fixed an issue when some homing skills would continuously circle targets. Fixed an issue where active skills could be used against unreachable targets. Some large pals now have the heavyweight passive skill and are no longer susceptible to knockback. Improved NPC combat AI. Pals and NPCs will now generally avoid attacks enemies. Okay, cool. Will now avoid attacking enemies whose level is far above their own. Yeah, let's not attack somebody who's out here just about to starch us in half. Not trying to get laid out like that. Added a warning message when the currently equipped weapon overheats. Adjusted heat and cold resistance values for hexalite tier and higher armor. Added passive skills to certain armor pieces. Okay. Flint resistance, knockback resistance, and explosive or explosion resistance can now be obtained through cooking. Nice. Improved melee attack controls for more intuitive handling. When toggling sprint is enabled in the option, sprinting can now be maintained after. Oh, will not be maintained after performing a dodge. Awesome. Adjusted directional behavior when dodging during a dash. Overhauled the crime system. As your wanted level increases, stronger pursuers will appear. Okay, GTA. You can now clear your wanted status by avoiding detection for a certain period of time. Okay, GTA. NPCs will no longer immediately become hostile when accidentally attacked. Pursuit can now be disengaged. Updated default world settings on hard difficulty. Player damage taken has been adjusted on normal difficulty. Players will no longer drop equipped items upon death. These changes apply when resetting world settings or starting a new game. Then we're gonna start normal, maybe move into hard because I really want to get into all this. The wing pack, yeah, like I said, this is sick. So basically, as soon as I get a wing pack, the pals. Well, I wonder how fast this is gonna be. If it's gonna be somewhat comparable to, it's hard to say if it's gonna be comparable to Jet Dragon's top speed, but at least it will offer the opportunity to remove Jet Dragon from the party and add a different pal instead. Potentially, I think that's what this allows. Okay, a new type of glider, the wing pack, has been added. The wing pack consumes wing cells to allow for highly free flight without relying on a pal. It greatly expands your options for exploration, combat, and base movement. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because every time I would need to hop on a jet dragon, get over to a place, or get over within base, like that's a thing. Sweet. Plasma multi-cutter. Here we go. Here's the plasma multi-cutter. A new gathering tool, the plasma multi-cutter, has been added. In addition to gathering ore and wood, it can be used while riding, making resource gathering during exploration smoother and more convenient. Many new weapons have been added and increased weapon slots. Let's go. 13 new weapons have been added. Mechanical bow. Sora light ingots. Okay, cool. That's probably from the new area. What the heck it was called? Yeah, from High Guard or High Heavens or whatever it was called. Greatly improved projectile velocity and penetration. Allow for highly accurate long-range shots. Combat SMG, submachine gun, solarite ingots. Okay, cool. Prototype shotgun, crafted from solarite. Overwhelming power, close range. Heavy assault rifle. Tactical grenade launcher. Laser sword. Beam scatter. Drone launcher. A launcher that deploys autonomous combat drones. Can deploy up to 9 drones simultaneously. Yo, is this the Division? Plasma rifle, beam launcher, primitive sword. Okay, yeah, early game. Metal bat, just metal bat somebody. Enhanced lily spear. Awesome. Intended for late game use, which may be interesting. Put them to use in conquering new areas and high difficulty content. Also, by crafting an extra weapon holster, you can now equip up to 6 weapons. Phenomenal. New armor. Added the ancient series helm, armor, and shield to coincide with the new battle content. Headgear that lets you take on the appearance of various bosses can also be added as a reward. Let's go. I want to wear the skull of my enemies. New accessories. 44 new accessories such as the command baton, that strengthens party pals, and the Airwalker, which expands your freedom of movement. Some accessories combine multiple effects, opening up new possibilities for combat and exploration. Disposable implants. A new item, the disposable implant, usable at the operating table. It is consumed unused but grants you more powerful passive skills. Okay. Solarite and Palosite. Added Soralite and Palosite as new ores. Soralite can only be mined in Sunreach. And yes, Palosite only at the World Tree. These are rare resources, which are essential for crafting and building content. Ancient civilization relics. Ancient civilization relics have been added using a special device. It can be converted into items useful for crafting and enhancement. It can only be obtained in a new area of the world tree. Nutrient. Hello, Pokemon. Added nutrient as a new consumable item when used on a POW or the player. Hunger will no longer decrease for a limited time. Okay. Other adjustments and improvements added 2 new higher tier POW spheres. I think it was the exotic sphere was the highest one that we ended up with before 1.0. Okay. Training manual can now be crafted from the ancient POW manuscript. Okay. Adjusted the display and effects of food implants, passive effects, and other related systems. Okay. Base building. I'm here for base building. Like, I love the game for all the things that it does, but base building is the bread and butter for me. Like, base building is exactly what I'm here for. I am just, yeah. So, new building parts. By popular demand, we've added new building parts that make construction even more enjoyable, such as faux greenery, okay, slanted triangular roof inverted. Man, I have been waiting for a new kind of triangular slanted roof thing forever. A structural piece designed to make your custom builds more beautiful and flexible. Aquatic construction. An aquatic construction kit has been added, allowing you to build bases along the shoreline and at sea. Yes, I spent hours in the previous iteration of Palworld trying to find the right spot to build a foundation or to put columns down in order for me to build bases over water. I'm super glad they did that in order for me just to like expand and be built into the water or over just giant pools of water in the world. That's exciting. That's super exciting. In addition, many new furniture pieces and ancient civilization style pieces or parts have been added. With the expanded creative possibilities of the building system, we hope you enjoy creating your own unique and expressive bases. Okay, cool. Added to the existing wooded slanted corner roof, stone, metal, glass, Japanese style, and clean. Furniture added, yes, all of the faux things. Jet Dragon statue is cool. Newly added ancient civilization base structures, ancient foundation, ancient wall, roof, etc. All the way down. Okay, improvements to work pals. We've improved base PAL behavior for returning to work, hauling, and storing storage tasks. Based on their transport work suitability level, pals can now collect nearby dropped items as the player of the same type from a wider area at once. Convenient storage interactions with chests, medicine cabinets, guild chests, and other containers have also been improved, making base item management smoother. It became unruly at the end with the amount of content, materials. It just was wild. So I'm glad it's smoother. Crafting UI and facilities, category filters, name search functionality to the crafting UI. As the number of items increases, it's now easier to locate the desired crafting recipes. Craftable items are now prioritized in the display list. New utility buildings. Added a variety of new utility structures to support crafting, including ancient material synthesizer, which can produce various materials such as, you could just make ore. And the high pressure crude oil extractor, which can even extract crude oil without an oil field. That is so broken. Oh my. It's literally going to just be fields of oil. Oh, jeez. Oh, my God. That's going to be so exciting. Oh, man. Just all these adjustments to the... Oh, dude. Let's go. Wow. They have literally cooked. We have been on stream. How long have we been on stream for? Almost an hour going through these notes. Well worth it because there's just so much more now that we're going to be looking at. I'm about halfway, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be going through some of this here. Did that say 40 million players? Okay, cool. We're not gonna get too ahead of ourselves here. We're gonna just jump in soon enough. Awesome. So we already did that. Utility, did that. Other adjustments and improvements here. Okay. While within base range, players can now fast travel directly from the map. You can now fast travel between bases or the Great Eagle statues without interacting with the without interacting at the PAL box at the base. It's so good. Greatly increases the variety of visiting merchants depending on the depending on the player's base level. 18 types of specialized visiting merchants. Meat, vegetables, ammo, medicine, food, and PAL materials can now appear. The repair kit previously required for repairing structures has now been removed. PALs with handiwork suitability can now repair structures without using items. That's sick. Added new base facilities, the clinic and ancient clinic. Depending on the medicine production work suitability level of assigned PALs, these facilities can now reduce sanity depletion and suppress illness amongst the base PALs. Oh, dude, this is going to be great. No more making medicine. No more making. Okay, cool. Added a higher tier, high quality monitoring stand, an ancient monitoring stand. These structures retain all the functionality of the standard monitoring stand while also reducing sanity depletion. Fixed assignments can now be set from the monitoring stand, even for sleeping pals. It's phenomenal change. Absolute W change. They are cooking heavy. The time required for ranch item production can now be adjusted in world set. So we are trying to have a lot of fun here. So we're not going to adjust the combat too much, like if at all. Maybe make it a little bit more forgiving, depending on what world tier we're working. Normal, I'm not going to change it. Hard, may try to test it out. We're trying to have fun here, y'all. But I will certainly and most definitely be altering the settings for things like egg incubation. For this, obviously the ranch production, because I'm not trying to have real world harvesting timelines. Like, we're playing a video game, so that those settings will be adjusted, and I'll make sure to highlight that during the stream. Phenomenal. Added a work speed multiplier settings to world settings. Absolutely gonna be doing that. In line with the refinement of work suitability levels, ranch output has been increased and the default production intervals has been adjusted. The light color of certain lighting structures can now be changed. Hell yeah, dude. This is going to be absolutely just red lighting in all of my bases. When shopping within a base, gold stored in base chests can now also be taken into account. Will also not be taken. Oh, the shopping. Yes. When merchants come around. That's awesome. Improve certain facilities, such as the surgery table, so they can now access items stored in base chests. Absolutely. A new option has been added to chests so players can auto-deposit matching items without opening the chest. Oh, these are such phenomenal changes. Oh my god. The chest quick storage feature now respects exclusion lists set from bulk storage. Again, they added that in the early access for exclusion items. Like all my PAL spheres. I do not need to be setting all my PAL spheres into storage, essentially. Enemy bases will no longer spawn too close to player bases. Phenomenal. Storage type structures can now be painted. Chests can now be named. Ooh! Oh, the organizational nerd in me is absolutely loving this. Improved visibility of chest filter settings. Awesome. It is now always displayed when an item filter is active. Improve the appearance of the PAL box when constructed. When placing a PAL disassembly conveyor, you can now preview the position. Of its item output. Okay, cool. Facility effects can now be viewed in the building menu and technology list. Oh, okay, cool. So like basically, like what ends up happening if you build that in the base. I'm imagining. Added an alert when no PAL at the base meets the. Game of the year? I know it's a stretch. That's a huge stretch. But game of the year? Given that GTA 6 is coming out, it is $100. And from what I read, some of the missions are locked behind the more expensive deluxe edition, which is stupid. we I like Palworld's chances. Maybe it's a bit copium, but given the changes that I've seen, having played this game, having extensively looked into this game, looking how amazing this game has been prior to these incredible changes, both in quality of life and in combat and in just all of the ways that this game wants to it wants to be good. It wants to be good. Um, it wants to be good. Okay, cool. Yes. So my goodness. Yeah, added an alert when no PAL at the base meets the required work suitability for a facility. That is amazing. Um, that's awesome. Improve log messages for insufficient work suitability during fixed assignments. Okay. Improve the error message displayed when a fixed assignment fails while summoning party pals. All right. Party pals now, with appropriate work suitability, will now automatically assist with the trees, rocks, and other resources damaged by the player. Okay. Base pals will now prioritize completing partially progressed tasks more reliably. Adjusted the distance between base pals and facilities during working activities. Okay. When base pals are placed in hot springs, they will now remain there until their sanity has been fully recovered before coming out. It was so funny to have somebody go in and be like, "Work 10% sanity, let's go." Like that was really funny. But now I'm glad that is because I imagine sanity is gonna be again when done correctly. Sanity will not be an issue, but in early game and mid game, sanity could be a problem too, especially when we try to churn out as much as possible. Um, with again these new suitability changes. Increase ore distribution in the overworld, expanding viable base location options. Okay. Okay. Increase the amount of pure quartz obtainable in snowy regions. That was a problem because there was only like one or two areas that really gave it. Rebalanced harvest yield scaling based on gathering work suitability level. All right. Higher tier pickaxes and axes now increase the amount of resources gathered. Instead of just chopping through it faster, you get more of it. Fixed an issue where ranch assignments could be reset after logging in. Love these changes. Fixed issues affecting lighting, textures, and visual effects for certain structures. Fixed and reduced issues causing flickering, gaps, clipping, and shadow rendering errors when building uh, with combined structures, walls, roof, foundations, etc. With the addition of aquatic construction, the boundaries of the playable area along the outer edge of Papagos have been adjusted. Because I think now, since we're able to build off of islands and into the ocean itself, like that is going to be really, really cool to kind of play around with a little bit. No, if you continue using save data from version 0.7.3 or earlier, you may spawn outside the updated boundary. If this occurs, please use the emergency escape from the options menu. Again, we're starting a brand new game. We're not even going to be trying to... Yeah, we're starting a brand new game because it lets me build upward with all these changes. I have a ton of pals, a ton of bases, a ton of stuff, but it just feels right. It feels right to start a brand new game. Raids and base defenses, major rework of the raid system. Again, raids was to be a little fun. The base raid system has been significantly overhauled and reworked into a wave-based system. Enemies will now attack in successive waves, and players will receive rewards upon defeating all waves. As a result, base defense structures and the placement of work pals are now more important than ever. This has transformed base defense into a more engaging feature that goes beyond simply surviving attacks. This is good. The types of enemies that raid your base now vary depending on the environment. For example, the Free Pal Alliance will attack in Crescent Moon Shore, while the Eternal Pyre faction will raid Mount Obsidian. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Location. Defense structures will not operate without consuming ammo. Damn. Added countermeasures for situations when raiding enemies become stuck. The level of raiding enemies will not automatically scale according to the level of work pals assigned to the deployed base. So if I got all my high levels in one place, they're going to be attacked by high level people. Got it. That makes sense. Oh, if a gold coin assembly line is present at a base, a dedicated raid event will now occur. Okay. The negotiator. Okay, cool. A negotiator who can now cancel raids will now visit your base. By paying gold coins, you can prevent an upcoming raid from occurring. You can now choose whether to stand and fight or resolve the situation with money, depending on your base's circumstances. Nah, they're coming after me. Everybody getting put down. Sorry, that's what it is, man. Like multiplayer. Let's go. Yeah, and this is relevant for myself. And Fig Jam. Super hyped. Super hyped right now. Just give me a second here, chat. Looking to ensure that I. There we go. Okay, in-game voice chat. Added an in-game voice chat feature. This feature is only available when enabled in the world settings of a dedicated server. Got it. It allows for smoother coordination with allies during exploration, base management, and boss battles. Not supported on WinJDK. GDK. Improved guild features. Upon improved guild functionality, multiple roles have been added, and various permissions can now be assigned to each role. In addition, notification settings and log in, log out. Improved in-game chat. Improved in-game chat to make it easier for system messages. And safety, such as anti-impersonation measures. Players can now scroll back through up to 200 lines of chat history. Improved server play. Let's go. We've improved the joining process for multiplayer. The usability of server password saving and restoration, as well as the IP address input, has been enhanced. In addition, improvements have been made to the save progress to reduce the risk of save data corruption. You can now enjoy a safer and smoother experience while playing on servers. It may be worth stepping in and getting a dedicated server. It may behoove me to get a dedicated server for the game, so that we can just invite all of you all, right, and get chat in here. Have all of you join the Palworld server with us, which would be kind of a lot of fun. Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun, actually. Cool. Discord integration added the option to link your Discord account to the game. I will be doing that. You linking your Discord will make it easier to invite friends to play together. Only supported on the Steam and Mac version. I see. Not available on the PlayStation 5 version, but it's okay. We'll still have the Discord available for folks, and we'll coordinate there. Other adjustments and improvements. The number of raid bosses can now occur simultaneously within a guild has been limited to a maximum of 1. Okay, that makes sense. Sustainability has been improved for dedicated servers, co-op play across all platforms, login and log out notifications for guild members, system messages, color coding. Server list screen has been improved. Server address hiding mode is up there. An icon is not displayed when the connection server is unstable. Multiplayer starting point has been added to match single player. The main mission can now be progressed in PvP mode. The name of the player who placed the structure as well as the guild name will not be displayed. The default world setting for dedicated servers has been adjusted to closely match single player normal difficulty on dedicated servers when the relevant option is enabled in world settings. The ID of the player who placed a structure will now be displayed. Now, balance overhaul. Experience gain. We've adjusted the experience table and the experience gains of pals. Lower level pals will now gain experience more easily, making it much more viable to train pals that you catch later in your playthrough. Capture probability. Adjusted the calculation formula for capture rates, making pals easier to catch overall. Gold balance. The amount of gold coins obtainable from treasure chests has been increased by approximately 2 to 4 times. We've also adjusted the trade price in items and pals overall. Crafting and equipment. We've adjusted the material requirements for crafting recipes, weapons, armor, ammo, schematics, and saddles. These values have been rebalanced to better match game progression, making equipment upgrades and crafting more appropriate throughout the course of play. Accessory overhaul. The method for obtaining accessories has been changed from acquiring them as a physical item to crafting them from schematics. Schematics can be obtained at a low rate from treasure chests, ancient ruins, large scale oil rigs, and more. The +1, +2 accessory system has been removed, and the performance of existing +0 accessories has been increased to the equivalent of +2. Okay, so just scaling everything up. Shops and rewards have adjusted shop stock lineups, purchase prices, and selling prices. In addition, various rewards and the amount of exploration experience gained have been reviewed. These changes are intended to create a more natural progression flow between exploration, combat, crafting, and shopping. Expedition rewards. The danger level of expedition destinations unlocked after clearing each tower boss hard has now been changed to highest, and the reward contests have been significantly rebalanced. Rewards have been adjusted so that the players can obtain items appropriate to the difficulty, including the kinship peach. We've also added Sunreach and the World Tree as new expedition locations. Enemy/boss placement adjustment. We reviewed the spawn location of enemies and bosses across the game, adjusting to better match the intended level of difficulty and challenge in each area. Note, due to changes in boss placements, defeat bounty history will be reset in version 1.0. High difficulty content adjustment. In line with the player level cap becoming 80, we reviewed and adjusted the appropriate levels and difficulty of high difficulty content, including raid bosses, tower boss, hard mode, and oil rigs. Research laboratory. We've adjusted the balance of PAL labor research laboratory and added new levels and effects to various research categories. Metal merchant. We've added new items that can be exchanged for dog coins. In addition, the number of dog coins required to exchange items has been reviewed and adjusted. Technology rebalance. We've reviewed the unlock levels of technology and added many new crafting materials. Other adjustments. Power breeding combinations have been reviewed overall. We've adjusted them to provide an acquisition experience that matches game progression. Interesting. I wonder if that means that we cannot. It'd be kind of a step backwards if we cannot breed certain pals out of progression, depending on what they define as game progression. In this way, because you were able to capture certain pals and breed into getting, say, an Anubis pretty early on. It took a little bit of time, but eventually you'd be able to get like Bastagon and other characters, other pals, a bit earlier without having to capture them in that way. But again, we'll have to wait and see what that really looks like. The amount of experience gained from crafting has been adjusted for certain items. New high difficulty fishing spots have been added to Sunreach and the World Tree. Bring pals that can assist with fishing and take on the highest tier fishing challenges. With the addition of new fishing spots, the current expert fishing spot has been renamed Master Fishing Spot. The name Expert Fishing Spot is now used for new fishing spot, one difficulty tier higher. Fishing spots, as well as the pals and rewards obtained through fishing, have been adjusted. The chance of catching alpha pals from fishing ponds has been increased. Fishing bait can now be obtained from raid rewards, treasure chests, salvage, and scrap. Fishing bait has now been added to merchant lineups. Crafting for simple bait has now been unlocked when intermediate and advanced fishing rods are unlocked through technology. Lucky Pals now provide work suitability enhancement items and large amounts of experience. In addition, Lucky Pals now start at a higher rank when captured. In line with the overall increase in active skill power, Lucky Pals encountered in early game areas will no longer possess excessively powerful active skills. When random PAL spawn mode is enabled, players will begin with all the PAL saddles unlocked. Aha, that may be interesting to try to do. Note, applies only to newly created PAL worlds. This does not apply to worlds carried over from data before 0.7.3. Accumulated experience in existing save data will be automatically adjusted to match the new experience table. Player levels will not be reduced. Legendary blueprints dropped by bosses have been adjusted and the number of eligible items has been increased. The display order of bounty tokens and saddles has been adjusted. Stat enhancement fruits can now be crafted using Lotus. Awesome. And now, the enhancements are so much more important now because of, again, up to level 10 for the suitability, but also stats and everything have been kind of reworked to, I think using them now is just even better in that particular way. Players can now jump even when exceeding their carry capacity up to 1.25 times their maximum carry weight limit. Movement speed penalties while overburdened have now been reduced. I'm probably going to make the entire game weightless. Like, we're probably, like, nothing will probably have any weight. I think because then, yeah, being over encumbered with a bunch of stone, yeah, no, like, it just, that doesn't seem like a lot of fun. Goodness me. The crafting yield of the following ammunition types have been increased. Okay, crafting yield of handgun, assault, energy, overheat rifle, Gatling gun, laser Gatling. The crafting yield of the following arrow types have been increased. Regular, fire, poison, reinforced. Awesome. All right, the rewards available from oil rig treasure chests have been improved and additional obtainable items have been added. PAL summoned or controlled by enemies at the Rain Syndicate platform oil rig can now be captured. Ooh, about to steal your stuff. Cave mushrooms will no longer spoil. Phenomenal. The selling price of certain ultra rare items has been reduced to the minimum value to make it clear that selling them is not recommended. Phenomenal. V1 and V2 armor schematic 4 are now exchanged through the arena merchant instead of the metal merchant. The crafting materials for PAL Sphere has been adjusted. Stone and wood are no longer required, and the item can now be crafted using 1 palladium fragment. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, palladium. Paldium. The number of PAL metal ingots required to craft an ultimate sphere has now been reduced from 10 to 5. 10 per ultimate sphere. That's crazy wild. Here we go. UI UX adjustments, improve search / sort for various UIs. The search feature has been added to the PAL box, and name filters and category sorting has been added to the crafting screen, making it easier to find specific PALs and items. These improvements make it easier to locate what you are looking for, even in the later stages of the game when you have accumulated a large number of PALs and items. Filter options have also been added to the PAL deck, allowing players to display PALs whose capture bonuses have not yet been compiled, PALs with specific elements, and more. We've also added new sorting options to the PAL box, allowing PALs to be sorted by expedition power. It's phenomenal. I imagine that the PAL deck is going to be really helpful, especially when looking for PALs that are, again, thinking about the work suitability skills. And for build crafting, if I'm really being honest about it, if I'm searching for, Robin Colterra, right, or thinking about the element of earth, or fire, like whatever that looks like, that'd be very interesting to see. Status effect, improve status / effect display. PAL status details now display bonus values provided by souls and awakening. In addition, HP bonuses, which were previously not viewable, can now be checked. An icon will not be displayed alongside damage numbers to indicate when status effects have been inflicted. Icons indicating status elements such as burn and poison will now be displayed on the HP gauge. Improved the display of star ranks for ranked up PALs and enhanced work suitability levels. Partner skill descriptions have been improved to make effect values easier to understand. For example, weight reduction effects. Weight reduction effects will now display specific values, such as while in party, the weight of ore is reduced by 80%. I think given that, maybe not make everything weightless then. Maybe actually sit with it a bit. Maybe. I mean, now that that's there, like that actually entices me to just keep it as is, and play the game a bit differently now. But maybe not. Changes in partner skills effects. Correction. Let me read that again. Changes in partner skill effects by rank are now reflected directly in their descriptions. For example, a description reads, while in party, the weight of ore is reduced by 80%, will update to, while in party, the weight of ore is reduced by 100% when the PAL's rank is increased. So you could literally have that PAL and walk around with ore not weighing anything. So there you go. Like that right there feels good in terms of just leaving that setting in place. Map improvements, improved map controls, allowing for smoother zooming. Added a guild marker that we can share with other guild members. Added a function to hover Hover the cursor over a base. Um, a mark is now displayed on bases under raid. Perfect. I was always wondering which one of the bases under attack. Dedicated marks are now displayed on the icons of bosses and great eagle statues located below cliffs or inside caves. The custom marker window can now be closed by clicking outside of it. Character creations and adjustments added 8 new hairstyles, 5 new face types, and 13 new hair accessories. In addition, the player's default facial mode has been visually updated and refined. That's fun. Again, other adjustments and improvements here. Change the title screen to a key visual newly created for version 1.0. Inventory can now be opened with the I key. Loading screen has been completely renewed and now displays tips. Cool. That's going to be awesome because there's so many changes, and I do not know if anybody is going to read the patch notes, the log notes, for an hour and a half plus. Probably not, but that's okay. That's what we're here. That's what we do this. I'm a weed. Just joined the party right now, everybody. I'm a weed. You're on with the folks here, with myself. We're just reading through the absolute thickness of the changelog patch notes for Palworld 1.0. Oh, he's probably not on mic just yet, which is okay. He'll jump on mic in just a second. Cool displays tips. New improved UI for whenever the player gets a reward. Okay. Added support for vertical FOV field of view settings to improve quality of life when playing in ultra wide monitors. Added a new conversation text function. While switching weapons, a weapon list is now displayed on controllers. This can be shown by holding the Y button. The Y button. Triangle button for PlayStation users here. You can now check capture bonus stats on the HP gauge when raiding a sphere. Okay. Added a retrieve all button to the PAL box UI to return PALs. Oh yes! Oh my goodness, that's gonna be so good, especially when I'm trying to like reorganize a base. That's gonna be so good. A retrieve all button to the PAL box UI to return PALs in the base to PAL box. You can now change the PAL's favorite setting to directly from the PAL box UI. Added partner skill display to the PAL box UI, which is awesome because that partner skill is really going to be helpful for build crafting. You can now directly use food from the feedback slot. This can be done by holding the use button on the inventory. Change respawn to emergency escape. Regardless of world settings, items will no longer be dropped. Hell yeah. Tutorial messages are now displayed according to the input device. Improve clarity of hold, input timing when activating partner skills. Okay, cool. So, okay, I get that. Improved guidance for insufficient heat/cold resistance levels. Added an error message for when fast travel is not available. Improved messaging for elemental treasure chests. Improved messaging when fishing without bait. Added support for UI scrolling using the right stick. Adjusted sort order for inventory and item lists. Notifications will now be sent when PAL returns from expedition. Awesome. That is super, super awesome. Added an expedition exclusion setting button. Oh, so like this basically allows us to have a dedicated expedition team and allows us to then not have to sort through all of them again or to try to auto add. Yeah, that's actually really cool. I like that. The appearance of PAL dimensional storage now changes when it is set to private. Fixed a display issue when changing graphics preset settings. Fixed an issue where the virtual keyboard would cover input fields on ROG Ally. Fixed an issue where dialogues were duplicated during touch input. Added face icons to capture human characters. Huh. Oh, yeah. So basically, it's not just some random gray face. Okay, I get that. In the build menu, structures requiring electricity now display an icon. Got it. In the build menu, change the classification of the summoning altar from other to PAL. Okay. When swapping a PAL's active skills, learned skills are now displayed in element order. Some items, such as training manual and technical manual, can now be used in bulk. Hell yeah. Rename some items to better clarify their acquisition method and usage. In extended decal gun duration from 10 seconds to 2 minutes and change it so decals no longer display. Oh, and changed it so decals are no longer displayed beyond a certain distance. The decal gun was fun. When using quick stacks to move items from your inventory to a chest, items will not be placed in an empty slot if all existing stacks of the same item are already at their maximum stack. Phenomenal changes. Better brush up looking graphics, better brush up of the world, improved waterfront coastline expression. Yeah, that's gonna be cool. Better coastline again. So we're trying to build Atlantis. Like, one of our bases is gonna be named Atlantis. That's just what's gonna happen, inshallah. Better lighting and environmental expression. Other adjustments and improvements here. Adjusted the time of day for the opening demo and the start of the game. Adjusted the draw distance for grass and tree at high graphic settings and above. Shadow density. Some other changes here. Color tone. Again, sound, improved battle music, improved sound effect logic, distance attuning, looping. That's actually cool. That's a new PAL there. Player action sound, combat effects, improved PAL action sounds, improved base slash crafting effect sounds, gather and exploration sound effects, mission presentation, sound, NPC optimization, other main bugs. Whoa. Okay, cool. Optimization. Optimized dedicated server processing, improved performance even in situations with many players. Optimized processing related to equipment and weapons, reducing in-game load. Processing related to grass and trees and other grabbable objects performed is improved. Improved processing performance with large number of placed objects or spawn points. Optimize certain high load processes. Optimize memory related processing. Optimize data search processing. Other main bug fixes. This is probably the end of the list here, and it is the end of the list here. And it's worth looking at because I think now that we've literally made it to the end here, an hour and 30 some minutes later, this game has really kind of wowed me even in early access. Now this is exactly what I was hoping to see, and even more so. So I think they over delivered in so many critical ways. So we're going to read through each and every single one of the main bug fixes, because I think given the fact that we're now moving into 1.0, and all of the changes that literally have been said above, right? Like, there's just, the knowledge is power. So, other main bug fixes. Fixed issues causing loss of control or infinite loading during login, warping, death, and respawn. Fixed issues where progression could become blocked in certain bosses. Fixed issues where progression could become blocked in certain boss battles and tower boss battles. Reduce issues where wild pals and NPCs would get stuck on terrain, stop moving, or move in zigzag patterns. Fixed issues where base pals could not resume work, would clip through the ground, or would not recover from abnormal states. Fixed cursor and focus issues when operating the global pal box and various UIs using a gamepad. Fixed issues with camera behavior rendering, weapon switching, and partner skill display while riding. Fixed issues such as loss of control during fishing, being able to open menus, and lingering effects. Fixed numerous synchronization inconsistencies, display issues, progression blockers, and crashes in multiplayer. Fixed crashes and memory leaks occurring on PS5, Xbox, and dedicated server environments. Yes! Fixed numerous cases of terrain clipping, wall clipping, floating objects, buried spawners, and areas prone to getting stuck. Fixed an issue where flying pals would sink into certain water areas. Fixed an issue where camera shake occurred even when camera shake was turned off. Fixed an issue where the wrong type of item could be obtained in the snowy mountain areas. Fixed an issue where the player would sometimes not hold weapons correctly in the inventory screen. Fixed an issue where the POW would stop moving after hitting a spike trap in the dungeon. Fixed an issue where other players' movements would not synchronize correctly during multiplayer. Fixed an issue where rapidly firing an energy shotgun could cause the firing animation to play without actually firing a shot. Fixed an issue where the player could slide without standing under certain conditions. Fixed an issue where footstep sounds would not play when certain weapons were equipped. Fixed an issue where POWs placed in certain villages and settlements would behave unnaturally. Again, like that word again, how to act naturally, how they're going to act and interact kind of more normally, more fluidly, more smoothly. Like that has been a through line throughout the entirety of the patch notes. And again, I'm really wondering sincerely what it is that really what that's going to look like. Right? I think they're really aiming for a level, even if it's again, Palworld, a level of realism, a level of almost like National Geographic, almost like National Geographic, Animal Planet kind of feel and engagement, right? That part feels good. I'm wondering how it's gonna land. I imagine that Faith is gonna land very, very well. Okay, cool. Fix an issue on dedicated servers where Marmoset's Earth Impact would only register one hit per tree. Fix an issue that prevented fences from being replaced in build mode. Fix an issue where base pals would land immediately after being thrown. Fix an issue where mission tracking workers were not shown in the world or on the map. Fix an issue where canceling text conversion. Fix an issue where. Excuse me. Bismillah. Fix an issue where canceling text conversation. Fix an issue where canceling text conversion in chat with the escape key could prevent keyboard input from working. Fix an issue where treasure map icons and pillars would disappear after restarting the game. Fix an issue where lumbering work suitability pals assigned to certain trees would sometimes stop moving and fail to begin logging. Adjusted some facilities so they no longer sink too deeply into the terrain when built. Fixed an issue where players joined the raid area during an ongoing raid could fall beneath the terrain upon contact with the raid boss. Fixed an issue where the battling status on the summoning altar would not appear if the raid boss was defeated immediately after it appeared, and the player quickly returned to the field. Fixed an issue on dedicated servers where enemy pals with fast charge attacks could teleport and move long distances against stuck inside walls. Fixed an issue. Wow. Okay, cool. We're almost there. Fixed an issue where the game would crash upon players' defeat while certain weapons such as the Vortex Beater were equipped. Fixed an issue on dedicated servers when defeating hardtails could cause a crash. Fixed an issue where fast traveling while in the frozen state could cause loading to fail or cause a black screen. Fixed an issue where players could spawn buried in the ground after loading saved data. Fixed an issue where enemy pals and NPCs spawned during supply drop and meteor events would disappear immediately upon event completion. Fixed an issue where dying immediately after loading a save would cause the death penalty to appear at a different place from the death location. Fixed an issue where returning to the title screen while fishing caused controls to be unresponsive. Fixed an issue when attacking an enemy fleeing from the player with a partner skill. The attacking POW would stop moving if the attack failed to hit an enemy. Fixed an issue on dedicated servers where mounting a POW immediately after fast traveling could cause the player to become stuck. Fixed an issue where dismounting could allow players to clip into the terrain. Fixed an issue in certain areas of the Terraria dungeon. We gotta go after that dungeon first, I think, once we know exactly where we find it again. The Terraria dungeon where players could encounter the unintended areas. It's okay. That was the cheese where we can basically just go through the skeleton structure of the entire area, just jump into the boss and get past locked doors without having to really do anything with it. That's okay. Fun while it lasted. Fixed an issue on dedicated servers where the ammo count of ranged weapons was not synchronized correctly. Fixed an issue in the raid area where the raid boss would target the PAL box with a warp attack if players move beyond its attack range. Fixed an issue on dedicated servers where when Moonlord was summoned, the eyes on both of its hands would remain closed, preventing it from attacking and sometimes preventing players from dealing damage. Fixed an issue on dedicated servers where players could take heavy damage and die when logging in, just immediate death upon login. That sucks. We're getting there. Fixed an issue on dedicated servers where the homeward thundercloud could not be used properly while riding a PAL. Fixed an issue on dedicated servers where a wild PAL would target an unrelated player if its ally died from terrain damage. Fixed an issue where Xenolord would remain in place if it died while summoning reinforcements. Fixed an issue when the entire screen would become blurry after leaving the game auto for a certain time with the DLSS enabled. Fixed an issue where items that had already been dropped could not be automatically picked up when starting from save data. Fixed an issue where summoned PALs would become hostile towards PALs held in captive cages at enemy bases. Fixed an issue where merchants would become hostile if a PAL accompanying them died from terrain damage even when the player had done nothing. I didn't do it, I promise. Fixed an issue where certain weapons Fixed an issue where using certain weapons while getting up after being revived by Herbal Pulse would prevent movement in certain actions. Fixed an issue where, when another player was incapacitated and Herbal Pulse was activated, the animation would revert to a face-down prone position. Fixed an issue where skill fruit trees placed in dungeons were sometimes not visible from the client's perspective. Fixed an issue where, while wearing the Depresso armor, confirming changes on the Antique Dresser's character customization screen would cause the hands to clip into the body in the field. Fixed an issue on Xbox where the game would forcibly close after extended playset. You've been told to stop playing. That's crazy. Fixed an issue where eggs produced at the time of fixed an issue where eggs produced at the breeding farm would gradually become larger or smaller each time they were repeatedly produced or collected. Fix an issue on the client side in multiplayer where the partner skill effect run faster over terrain type would not activate until certain conditions were met. Fixed an issue occurring only on dedicated servers where Neptilius, Sentinel of the Great Sea, would sometimes not leap high when used at sea. Like we would jump, it would just be such like a limp jump, and sometimes just be like shoot straight through the sky. Cool, I'm glad they fixed that. Fixed an issue on dedicated servers where logging out while wanted would clear the wanted status but leave the PIDF remaining. Fixed an issue where the base PAL where a base PAL with the Mercy Hit passive skill would defeat enemies instead of activating its effect when dealing lethal damage. Fixed an issue where Fixed an issue where equipping the heavy weight module did not reduce the throwing distance of PAL spheres and instead caused it to increase. Okay. Added a key configuration option as a countermeasure for an issue on macOS where, when using keyboard and mouse controls, access alignment mode in build mode would fail and return the player to the structure selection menu. Fixed an issue where the logging site and stone pit would not align properly when placed in alignment mode. Fixed an issue where, when a client using Bastigor's Blizzard Crash fixed an issue where when a client used Bastigor's Blizzard Crash, it would automatically activate again after the cooldown ended. Many minor bug fixes have it fixed, too many to list. About mods, again, cause crashes, data corruptions. Just be careful with them if you're using them. A final note here. After more than 2 years in early access, Palworld has finally reached its official release. To all the Pal tamers who have played so far, thank you so much. To enjoy the new experience even more, We recommend starting fresh with a new character. Of course, you can always continue your adventure with your existing save data. On behalf of everyone here at Pocket Pair, thank you for your continued support. Chef's kiss to Pocket Pair, the developers, the team, for just absolutely just cooking. Absolutely cooking. Absolutely taking this to the next to its next level. Its next iteration. Oh yeah, July 7th. I'm seeing it here. Palworld surpasses 40 million players. Jeez. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's and of course it is. Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Again, almost 2 hours worth of reading the patch notes here, but I feel so confident going into 1.0 now, knowing what the changes are, knowing what it is that I'm trying to do. I mean, I would have walked in and just assumed things were going to be the same with just some improvements to the terrain and maybe some. This has been an extraordinary amount of change, an exceptional amount of quality of life improvement. I'm most excited for build crafting. I'm so excited for build crafting with pals. I'm super excited for some of those changes to how and where it is that we're going to be kind of engaging and entering. So much of the building of bases, the PAL management, just phenomenal work. So, before we fully and utterly step into this, I'm going to take a moment to pray. It is Isha time for all my Muslim folks out there. I'll be back in just a jiff. Music will be playing here in the background for folk. And so we'll be back in just a jiff.